I understand the concept of drafting the best player available on your board regardless. I do. But when you're in the Bengals situation, you need to replace Sheldon Rankins. You need more help off the edge. You could use a new linebacker because Jermaine Pratt is on his way out, whether that be a cut or a trade. So, like, best player available, yes, but maybe best player available at a position of immediate need.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Sure.
Jackson Carman.
He wasn't even the best player available at a position in need.
That's what I'm saying. They drafted for a need.
Well, and you could look at Billy Price also.
You could look at Billy Price. I think there's a sweet spot in between those two thought processes, right? And you might have just said it, right? The best player available at the position you need, right? That could be a good philosophy, right? You can draft for need, but then sometimes Billy Price, Jackson Carman. Draft a guy, oh man, what do we do with this guy this year? We didn't really need a running back, Genty. I think Genty immediately changes our backfield. I think that's a different story.
I look at a draft that is so deep in the interior of the defensive line and on the edge, not quite as deep at linebacker. But there's a draft class that feels so deep in the positions that the Bengals need. Yeah, if Ashton Jenney falls to 17, he might be the best player on your board, but like there's probably 3 or 4 guys that you had very highly rated on the defensive line that you need help with immediately right now that you could draft too. You know what I mean? Like that's my thought process on it. I understand BPA, but I also just think maybe BPA at a position of need because there is depth in so many spots that they need help with.
I agree. At 17, there's going to be a guy on the board that we need. There's going to be an edge rusher there. I don't want him to take a guard at 17. It's just because it's not a sexy pick, obviously. Yeah. But, like, there's going to be an edge rusher there. There's going to be a safety there. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be an interior guy there, right? Defensive line. If something freaky happens like that and Genty's there at 17, I think we look at the phone. You know what I mean? Who wants Genty? You know what I mean? Like, you can come to 17, trade a couple spots back and still get our guy and gain some capital or something like that. Yeah. In that situation, I think that's a really, really good like avenue to take, you know, or just fucking take Genty and change your backfield for the next 8 years. So I don't know.
Yeah. You better score 60 a game because you're going to give up 55.
But you can still get defensive players. Like what if we go out and we sign a freak edge rusher, and we get somebody in the interior defensive line that could go for a year. You know what I mean? Like,
if you go into free agency and you address these defensive needs with good, solid starters that can come in and make an instant impact, that opens your board up completely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I don't disagree with that. Yeah. I just think that if they're going to sign T. And they're going to sign Jamar. How much money is going to be left for like a real spending spree on the defensive side of the ball in free agency?
You're right.
Now, there is a plan for that, as Jake Liskow and Joe Goodberry have outlined. There is a plan for that, or a way to accomplish that. And if they do that, and they have addressed these defensive needs going into the draft, and Jenny's there at 17, they decide to take him, I feel completely different.
Yeah, it's
got to be a strong defensive free agency to get me on board.
Yeah. No filter needed, beers getting deleted. It's the Cincy Unfiltered show. Let's go.